Hey, friends, welcome to episode 14 of Rethinking Grading, where we are going to compare grades from last year's grading system to grades in this year's grading system. Just to give a little bit of background, last year Power School stored the grades at the end of semester one as well as at the end of the year. Now that we've reached the end of semester one for this year, we can finally have a true apples to apples comparison of last year's first term grades to this year's first term grades. Without any further ado, here is the data. This is the visual little graph for you. And as you can see here, the old system is in blue, the new system is in orange, and that simply compares the grades and the grade ranges there, right? Um, this is the visual, and for some folks, like seeing that little snapshot there, you can see that both of them follow generally the shape of a bell curve for the distribution. Obviously some differences, and those differences might be easier seen and understood with simply the numbers, right? So grades that were in the exemplary range decreased from 11.7% to 6.0%. So in other words, last year, 11.7% of all FO grades at the end of the semester were in the 96 to 100% range. This year, at the end of semester one, 6.0% of all grades fall in the exemplary range. Grades in the advanced range decreased from 23.5% last year to 19.9% this year. Proficient, there was a big increase. Last year, that was 37.8%, is now 57.5%. The developing range saw a decrease from 22.6 to 13.2. Grades in the unsatisfactory range decreased from 3.9 to 3.3. And no credit range decreased from 0.6 to 0.1. Now, this gives us questions. Some of you have heard me say this before. If we use data responsibly, it gives us questions. It should not give us answers. So here are some small picture questions for us to start with. Why was there a drop in the exemplary range? Why is there a drop in the developing range? And why was there a spike in the proficient range? These are the questions that, at least for me, come to mind because of these data. Now, these questions lead into some of the bigger picture questions that are worthwhile for us as a community to consider. Starting with, were grades in the past more reflective of student ability and they've now deflated a bit? Alternatively, were grades inflated in the past and they are now more reflective of student ability? And of course, an important thing to keep in mind, how much can we rely on a one-year comparison? All right, so we have some small picture questions to consider. We have some big picture questions to consider. Having said that, there are a lot of variables that come into play with this. Of course, we have a different grading system from last year to this year. That is an important element for us to consider as we consider these questions. There are different rubrics as well. And I just want to take a moment to remind folks and to give a lot of credit to teachers who spent a lot of time at the end of last year and over the summer designing rubrics that were aligned to standards and aligned to this new grading system as well. It is important to keep in mind we do have different students, right? The last year's seniors are gone. This year's freshmen are here. And again, students learn and grow and mature in different ways. And we do have different teachers as well. All of these are variables that might help point to answers to both our small picture and our big picture questions. As far as next steps, we'll run the data again in June so that we can have an end of the year comparison for last year to this year. We're also going to compare this to other measures like MCAS scores. MCAS is certainly not a be-all or end-all, but it is another piece of data that we're able to analyze when it comes to student performance. And that's something for us to keep in mind. Okay. Having said all of that, folks, as always, if you do have questions or concerns, you want to talk about anything that you've seen here, you can email me, you can give me a call. We do have this Rethinking Grading website as well. I'm here to answer questions, talk through any concerns that you have. So I really do encourage you to reach out. Having said that, I hope you are all well, and I hope you have a great day.